Hello traders, trading Indices signing in. So in this video, this is another video where I'll be sharing with you guys how to draw trend line properly and be able to forecast moves, meanwhile showing you guys, pointing out the errors in which trend line traders are doing. Alright, so I will share with you how you can be able to plot out your trend line very well and wait for price to come back to key levels where rejection around the trend line levels like this, where we can start taking our positions from here. Right, when price reacts to the trend line, we can be able to get a good position, and then I will share with you what will make a trend line to be very good, like a trend line which you can actually trust, and you can be able to know that okay, this trend line holds, because some traders are drawing trend lines the wrong way. Right, they are drawing trend lines the wrong way. Like now price react to this trend line, what will give you the confidence to be able to jump into this trade and then take this trade and then catch very high risk to reward ratio? That's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. Many people get stopped out because they don't draw trend line the right way, or they have errors that they are actually committing, or some get stopped before price move in their favor. So in this video, I'm basically going to be breaking down to you how to draw trend line the proper way, pointing out errors in which you should do, and how to use different time frames to catch good trading opportunities. Because when you draw trend line the right way, guys, you can ride the trend as long as you want, and the trend could keep on playing, and you'll be able to catch trades as long as the trade still, or the trend of the market continues. So if you're a trend line trader, or you like to watch videos in line with what I'm sharing with you, just make sure that you subscribe to this channel and follow this page. If this is you're watching it on that social media platform, give me a thumbs up. Also let me know in the comment section below what are your thoughts. See you after the intro. Okay traders, welcome to my channel. I am Full Kingsley. By the grace of God, I bring to you guys strategies, tutorials on the forex market, volatility indices, metals like gold, Nasdaq, VIX75, many other instruments. You want to subscribe to the channel by hitting on the subscribe button and notification bell to not miss the indices. Alright, so welcome back. This is a market structure where this is just a replay tool where we have replayed. I want to share with you guys how we draw our trend lines. Now this is inspiration from this setups here, where we are going to be bringing to you guys how exactly we draw this trend line. Right now, trend lines are simple a way of dynamic support and resistance, which don't need to be overemphasized, where price will usually find rejection around key levels, or let me say find rejection in a diagonal manner. Right, once price reject more than once in a trend line level like that, there's a high possibility that if price comes back to this zone, it could still reject for you to be taking a trade as it comes the third time, as this zone become a resistance zone, and vice versa for a support zone, right, which is in an uptrending market. But now there's a particular way you should draw trend lines, guys, and there are particular markets you should trade. It's not everywhere that you trade you draw trend lines. Now if you look at a market structure like this, for instance, this is a market structure where you can use trend lines on, and there are some times where market price can actually break above a zone, but it should not be considered a breakout yet because the trend is still holding. Now you need to also understand what we call market structure. You see price creating series of lower lows and lower highs. Right, in this situation you see that price broke below here, creating a low, broke below here, creating the next low, broke below here, creating the next low, meaning that what at this point you see lower lows and lower high, meaning the market trend has shifted to a downtrending market. Now once you spot that, what do? Pick up your trend line, because now looking at it, this is already above here. You already see that we have something like a horizontal, a dynamic resistance above here. Now to draw your trend line, what do? You simply pick it up like this. You pick it from this high, right? You connect. Now people look at the mistakes some people do. They want to connect trend lines, they'll be using steep levels. Like if you take a trend line, don't make your trend line to be too steep. Let it not be too steep. All right, even if price action had not played like this, many people who do like this maybe got stopped that area. Don't let your trend line to be too flat, and then let your trend line especially to be too steep, because it's easily broken. Now some people will ask me why. Some people usually ask questions like, why is it that I start from the tip? And you must not necessarily start here, right? You can sometimes start at the second level if it gives you the possibility to draw that. But now if you look at the second peak here, you notice that what that is not a proper zone to start drawing from, because if you start drawing from that zone, remember you have to adjust to get as many touches. If you start drawing from this second peak here, this is what you are going to get. You are going to get a horizontal resistance, not a dynamic. We want to get a dynamic resistance, so you must not always start from the first. I repeat, because I know I'll have questions like this. It depends on what you get. Now you can start here, because what happened, because at this point in time it shows that this will give us a gentle sloping trend line. Notice that the trend line is not like this. It's not like this. this is too steep, right? You don't want to draw trend lines like this. You want to adjust it such a way that it should get started. For instance, right, if we had another high, for instance, if you had another high that was a little bit lower, we will not use the high, right? Even if the high was the second high, okay, that's why we don't want to use this high. But because we want to use a high that is gentle, that is the zone that will hardly be broken and it can be respected for a very long period of time. So once you see that price at number one, price has created a series of lower lows like this, lower lows, and then you see a zone like this, what you do is connect above the wicks. Now there are other people who will draw like this. There are some people who draw trend lines like this. I'm not against this. This is good too. This, they consider the levels in between this zone to be what they are zone. So anything in between here, they're going to be taking that trade, right? Sometimes I usually prefer to draw it above the wicks like this, all right? Then I'll get rejection to enter. So what I want to be doing now is you want to extend your trend line. What happened? You wait for price to simply come up to your trend line and then you take your trade. Okay, at this point in time you see a rejection. Now look at how you improve price action. At this point in time we had price rejecting. If you look very well, I don't want to go deep into other things. If you look at this zone here, you could see that here we had equal highs here, but in a smaller time frame you will see price come here this week here, clear up the little liquidity that we had above there, indicating that what there will be momentum to move price down. And in fact, most importantly, let's just limit ourselves here for now. We have this doji candle here, which is a sign of a reversal candle. So what do? You take your sell trade here, and then you can decide to take your TP at this previous low here, right? Because you don't know if the trend is going to break here, right? Your first target and maybe your second target somewhere, all right? And then you just see how trade actually plays out. So it's just a simple concept as that, right? But you need to understand the type of market structure you're trading, because not all market structures actually should be traded, right? It's not all type of trending markets that we are going to consider using trend lines on them. I hope you get the point now. So at this point in time, you see now that price comes and then it does not get to the trend line. Now let's see if price comes again and reject around that trend line. Now the trend line is very beautiful because it is a very gentle trend line. Okay, it's a very gentle trend line here. Okay, so I guess at this point in time we had a little bit, we had to adjust it a little bit here, because normally price has rejected. Or what you can simply do now is you can just add another trend line. But now if you add it like this, right, it's going to be a little bit too steep. Guys, we don't want to get our trend line too steep, so we want to always make our trend line a little bit gentle in a way that, right, we don't want to get stopped at or easily get broken, so that when it finally gets broken, we should know that okay, indeed price actually broke out of this trend line here, right? So we are not actually trading breakout, otherwise we would have been talking about taking breakouts here and all of that. Now you remember I talked about some people using two lines, right? Some people might use two lines. If you use two lines, this would have been another good trading opportunity here, because at this point in time this would have been the zone where you take your sell trade here, and then as price reject here with these three candlesticks here, which is almost like an evening star candlestick pattern, you still take your sell trade here, and then you're able to catch that move like that. Okay, like I said earlier, you can still depend on what you backtest and then it works for you. Right now it depends on your experience, but I've explained to you the key thing that you need to pay attention to. Know the peak or the trough where you want to be taking a trend line from, right? To make sure that you have a gentle zone where you can take your trend line from, right? Because that's like a main area. Okay, let's just extend our trend line, guys. Let's just extend our trend line so that we can be able to see if we get another trade again, right? So what you want to do is you just extend very well. Okay, this is what actually happened. We had a news event here that actually came and cleared off this zone here, and then price actually dropped down powerfully. And at this point in time we have price actually waiting. Now if you look very well, you see that I actually gave this analysis on our channel. So as you can see, this is a YouTube channel. This was when we had price move, and we expected, I dropped this and I expected that price was going to react from this zone, which was also another block here, to drop, right? So price actually came, we had a lot of momentum. Even this analysis on US dollar Japanese yen did just this, which is just what we actually forecasted. So the link to our Telegram channel is in this video's description below. Go to the pinned comment or in this video's description just to pick the link of this channel, so that you can also join and be able to get analysis as well. So just click on the link to join our free Telegram channel, so that you'll be able to get analysis and then updates that can be useful to your trading journey. All right, so see, this is the forecast that we have on we had on US dollar Japanese yen, that it was going to drop from here to here. Okay, and it actually dropped. And what happened when price came here? It cleared the liquidity that was under this zone before moving up, right? At this at this point in time we can just adjust it, and then we get another trend line that is sloping. Look at what we predicted, and it actually dropped so powerfully just as we predicted. All right, so we also equally had a couple of analyses, and this channel we do a lot of things, guys. We do a lot of things. We actually give signals to synthetic indices, on cryptocurrencies, to Ethereum. We catch very massive moves on this particular channel. So if you're a crypto trader, I've created a channel just for crypto, which is different from this. I'm going to also drop the link in this video's description below. If you're a crypto trader, make sure that you don't miss out. Just make sure you join, and then that could be of benefit to you, right? So basically that is simply the nugget I wanted to share with you guys concerning Trendline. And if you look, we have had massive moves too on Ethereum, right? We are actually catching very good moves on Ethereum, actually trading this particular, just looking at the trend, following our trend lines, right? I don't want to go deep into that so that you don't take too much time. So anyways, I hope you learned something from this video. Let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts? Which way of trend line do you prefer to draw, or how do you want, what exactly do you want us to bring more videos on? All right, and if you love this content, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. That will do us a lot of good. That will also be suggested to another trader to be able to learn from this valuable content. So thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next video.